All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G. We back at y'all in another episode. Got my dog B up in the building. How you
That's
doing,
what it
B?
is. I'm good, fam. No complaints on this end, brother. What's up with you?
Sure, I'm cooling, man. We got a lot to discuss right now about the Saints. There's been a lot going on. But before we get into all that, I want to give a shout out to Jerry. You know, he one of the OGs when it comes to Saints podcast, and he being everybody podcast. He subscribed to everybody. He always support the upcoming YouTube channels for Saints content creators. Happy birthday, Jerry! Big 40 yesterday. So salute my dog. Have fun tonight. I know you're probably watching the fight tonight. I know you're gonna be doing it big for Father's Day or whatever. But yeah, man, salute to Jerry, man. But let's go ahead on and get into this Saints news, bro. We got the OTAs, we got Alvin Kamara contract, we got a lot to discuss, man. Let's go ahead on and
Yeah,
just
buddy.
let's start with this injury to Juwan Johnson first, though. Juwan Johnson, he suffered an injury during camp. Um, we don't know the length of the injury, but they say he's going to be missing quite some time. So we can expect for him to be gone for at least a good 6 weeks right now, maybe 8. He already had a lot of competition coming into camp. We got this rookie. We got still Foster Monroe. We might have Jimmy Graham come back to the team. I've been hearing rumors about that. We've been looking out for other guys that we could bring in for workouts. It was going to be tough for him to even make the team look like. And I haven't been hearing too much about him just making some, noise during OTAs, but it's just OTAs. But, man, what's your thoughts on Juwan Johnson going to be possibly missing the time? And we just needing depth at that position at tight end regardless.
Well, I mean, it's a gift and a curse when you really look at it, bro. It's bad for Juwan because he's not out there physically getting to know the system, which is bad for him because this is one of those years that's pivotal for him. This is almost like a make or break year for him. The Saints are obviously trying to get young, and I don't really know if Juwan fit into that category per se. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that regard, and when I say young, maybe it's not age more versus experience in that idea. So I mean, I think the Saints are trying to go young. They're trying to keep the cap down, rebuild through that way. So it's bad for him by him missing that time. But it's good for cats like the undrafted rookie free agent Dallin Hooker. You know what I'm saying? He get to go out there, make some plays, try to put his name in the list. It's good for a dude like Jimmy Graham who might be looking to come back, or maybe another free agent tight end out there that want to play in the Clint Kubiak system. So for them, it's good. For Juwan, it's bad. And for the Saints, I don't really see it as a negative because I don't think the tight end is going to be that pivotal of a person in this offense. Like it's not going to be like they had in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have the same type of player. So I don't see it being as big of a role. I think more along the slot receiver might take on that tight end role in this offense because they don't have a dude that's like that. That's like over that at San Francisco. His name's skipping my mind right now.
George Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle. Kittle. They don't have a Kittle type of player in the offense, and I don't. It's not like it's gonna be one of the things to where Juwan could be that. No, he can't. No, he can't. Kittle is like one of the million. So if they can do that with the young rookie, if he can kind of build into that, so be it. But they don't have that right now. So I think the slot receiver might play a bigger role in the offense than a tight end would.
Mhm. Do you think we should be looking at the envision of this offense more towards San Francisco, where Clint Kubiak was like the passing game coordinator, or towards the Vikings of like 2021, where he was the actual offensive coordinator when they had Delvin Cook, Kirk Cousins, and they had Jettas. And I'm not sure who they had at tight end at that particular time, but it probably was the same guy that they have right now. Who do you think fans should really be looking more towards, the envisionment of the way this offense is going to be ran?
I want to say Kyle Rudolph was a tight end back then, and I might
Yeah,
be wrong on that one,
it
but
was.
yeah, I
He
think
wrong for
Rudolph
the
was a
push
tight end,
off.
but yeah, I think it's gonna be a blend. You know what I'm saying? I think Kubiak is gonna try to blend it. I think he's gonna take some of the stuff his daddy used to do with Denver. I think and with Houston and stuff like that. I think he's gonna take some of the stuff he learned under Kyle, because Kyle is a hell of a play caller. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's gonna take some of the stuff what he did in Minnesota. I think he's gonna try to mash it. I think the Saints right now are built closer to Minnesota than they are San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? I think they're closer to what the Vikings was. Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, damn near the same. The running game is damn near the same, and the tight end group is damn near the same. The only difference is wide receivers, in which you can say they had Jettas, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Here you got Olave, you got Shaheed, you possibly got A.T. Perry, Major Cedric Wilson could do something. Maybe you can count on Bub Means to contribute a little bit, but I don't really see the wide receivers being, even with Jettas, I don't know if Olave, Shaheed, A.T. Perry compare to what he was in one receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Olave could be a number one. I think we all know Jettis is the number one. So it's a little bit different, man. So with that being said, I think we're gonna see more of what it looked like in Minnesota, with a hint of what it looked like in San Francisco. Maybe the run game will look like San Francisco, but the passing game will look like Minnesota.
Yeah, man, Juwan, he went down, and I really feel like, this team, when it comes to the meat and potatoes of certain units that you really need to build a good team, I really felt like we needed more depth. And, the wide receivers, yeah, we got Olave, yeah, we got Shaheed, but I really feel like Michael Thomas' departure, we missing that dog. I feel like when it comes to the tight end, like if we would have had a dog tight end, I would be good with, Shaheed and Olave. But now, shoot, we down another tight end with Juwan being gone, and it was question marks even with him, even if he was going to be healthy. So I'm really looking at depth right now. It's like, man, where do we go from here? Like, do we go, since he went down, go get a Hunter Renfrow, or do we go just try to go searching for another tight end through free agency? Like, what do you think is going to, what do you think we should do as far as depth right now with these certain positions? And we still got to think about O-line. Like, what if one guy go down on the O-line?
I think O-line depth might be a little bit better on the inside than it is the outside. But what they did was when they made some of these signings, they signed them to where they could be versatile. You know what I'm saying? Like the cat they brought in, man. I want to say his last name is Patrick. Forgive me, bro. I'm normally I'm polished up and I do everything from memory, but I want to say if one of the offensive linemen. He can play like 3-4 positions on the O line. The guy they signed from Minnesota is another dude. He can play like inside and outside. So what they did was when they snatched O line depth, they snatched versatile pieces. So O line depth maybe on the outside may be shaky a little bit, but I still think they have the ability to kind of kick outside if they need to. Almost like signing a bunch of dudes like Andres Pete. You know what I'm saying? You can play left guard, you can play left tackle, you're good with me. But when it comes to wide receiver depth, that's a little bit different because if Olave is going to be your number one, Shaheed is your number two, you don't really know what you have in A.T. Perry. You think he can be a three. You don't really know what you have in Cedric Wilson. You think he can perform in this offense, but he didn't in Miami. So it's a whole bunch of I think so's when it comes to the rest of the team. As far as wide receiver and well, I'll say pass catchers, it's a whole bunch of I don't knows. The offensive line, I'm not comfortable with them, but I understand what they did there. As far as the rest of the team, it's on offense, tight ends, wide receivers, man. I think there's a lot to be seen when it comes to that. You move Taysom Hill pretty much from outside of the tight end area. He's more like your fullback, so he's gonna play that Usyk role, man. So I mean, you kind of lose a little bit right there, but you can always kick Taysom in, out the tight end again. As for depth, maybe they hold off. See what you have, see what you have when it comes to training camp. See how far Juwan progressing, and maybe you make a move after that. But I would expect them to bring somebody in, even if it's another undrafted dude. Maybe if if it's a veteran or something like that they're not really counting on, you can cut him if you want to. Maybe it's something like that. But like you said, man, Juwan wasn't really going to be, you know, he wasn't a lock to make the roster anyway. With that being said, you would hope that he recovers quickly, because if not, it could, I mean, as soon as I seen that Juwan went down, I'm like, somebody ain't gonna make it, and it could be him.
Okay, let's go ahead on and pivot towards the running back position. Everybody, a lot of people, was talking about the Alvin Kamara situation. He left camp. I think he went to go and have discussions with, the team about his contract. As we all know, Christian McCaffrey, he just got paid. As we all know, he just came off an MVP type of season. As we all know, these agents, they really going to work hard for their clients and getting them the best deal possible. Alvin Kamara, he's approaching 29 years old. He's about to be 30. That's like almost at career suicide when it comes to the running back position in this era. But, his client could probably argue that he was used in the wrong way, when it comes to the offensive scheme that he was in under Pete Carmichael the last 2 years. But at the end of the day, the organization are just going to go strictly by the numbers. They're not going to care about how it happened. They're going to care more so what happened. So what do you think is going to, transpire with these contract negotiations with Alvin Kamara? What do you think is going to happen, and what would you hope to happen?
Well, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to rework his contract some kind of way to give him money right now. Almost like the Marshawn Lattimore deal. We're going to rework it. We're going to give you some money right now, and then after this year, we're going to let you walk. That's what I think the way they'll do it. Now, what I would like for them to happen is for them to sit down and tell Alvin, stop crying like a little punk and get your ass out there on the field. That's what I would hope they would tell him. Because at this point, you can cry all you want to about your contract. It is what it is. I think he's more concerned about the idea that there's no guaranteed money after this year. and he wants some long-term security. Well, if you want that, there's a bunch of teams out there that might give it to you. The Saints shouldn't be one of them. I would feel differently if the Saints was like a piece away from winning the Super Bowl and it was in that contention. They're not. So right now, the way the roster is currently built, I wouldn't give a damn if Andy Reid was the coach, Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback, and you had Jettison Chase out there at wide receiver. You do not pay Alvin Kamara this money. That's just my opinion on it. Now, like I said, what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna find some kind of way to give him something right now to keep him quiet. I don't think they should though. I think they should just let him pout, and if he miss camp, fine his ass into because if his contract is 17 mil, for example, and you find him until you can't find him no more. One or two things gonna happen. Either gonna sit his dumb ass out, miss 10 weeks of the season and have to come back, or he gonna come his ass back to camp and he gonna play the way he's supposed to. I wouldn't give him no money. You don't pay running backs like that. We are not the San Francisco 49ers. You're not a piece away. You're not a Super Bowl contender. Hell, you'd be lucky if you could even make the playoffs in a bad division. Why would you pay that running back for what he used to do? You need to keep your eyes on the prize, looking forward. You don't pay nobody right now for what they did in the past. You got to pay people for what they're gonna do in the future. And Alvin won't be here.
A lot of fans like to hope that these guys could take hometown discounts, by being homegrown or being like a actual hometown kid or whatever, and they'll like to, see these guys just in their career with the same team. Like how Cam Jordan, he basically going to be a lifer. Do you think that could be at the detriment of a team sometimes?
Absolutely. See, I'm a different type of fan, bro, and we kind of one and the same. We kindred spirits when it come to this. I don't give a damn about the name on the back of the jersey. It's nice. It's cool to want to salute Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan and all these lifers. I love them being a part of the team, but it's a business either way. If Alvin had all of his money and next year he felt like he didn't want to be on the team because it was a losing squad, and he was like, trade me. Everybody be like, well, I can't really blame him because we ain't winning. Well, it's the same way. We ain't winning with him. So if the team want to feel like, well, we wasn't winning with you, we can win. We can not win without you. So be it. I'm good with that. I am a Saints fan. I'm not an Alvin Kamara fan. I'm not a Cam Jordan fan. I'm not a Demario Davis fan. I am a Saints fan. That right you got on your chest right now, that's me. I don't give a damn about who name on the back because players come and go. So for me, nah, I don't care about being lifelong Saints fans. Ricky Jackson, probably the greatest pass rusher in the NFL, if not for Lawrence Taylor. He had to go somewhere else to go get his ring. I ain't mad at that. So for me, nah, Drew Brees wasn't a homegrown Saint. Came from San Diego. But now the LA Chargers. I don't care about none of that. The only time I care about a Saints player is when he in a Saints jersey or Saints helmet. After he leave, I don't know him no more. Now don't get me wrong, I still have my likings. Like I still like Jameis. I don't hate him. I wish him all the best. But I wish to do that in Cleveland. It don't make me no never mind if Cleveland go 3-13, 3-14, or 14-3. Don't make me no never mind. He not with the Saints no more, and that's how I feel about all of them. When you here, you got me. When you gone, you gone.
And speaking of contract negotiations, Marshawn Lattimore, he got his bag, but I think they just restructured him. A lot of people have been speculating that he had his gripes with Dennis Allen, and it seems to be true. He got him in front of media, and he was like, they talked and they hashed out whatever differences they had. And for right now, when it comes to the trade rumors, he here. And if anything happened, then so be it. But for right now, he said he's locked in. And they asked him, about the cornerback rankings, and he said, man, he number one. He don't care about what everybody's talking about. He know. Yes, he probably missed like a full season within these last 2 seasons, but when it comes to talent, he felt like he's number one. Like you said, June 1st post, if we could trade him, we could get something for him, and on top of that, we could save money on the cap, not only this year, but even more next year. So what do you think is going to likely happen with the Marshawn Lattimore situation?
I think that's going to depend on Kool-Aid. It's going to depend on Kool-Aid. It's going to depend on the Debo, and I think Debo kind of been battling injury through camp. If I'm mistaken, man, I think I've seen something like he wasn't out there for like a practice or two. But if he's healthy, if Debo is healthy and Kool-Aid can pick it up easily because they're training him to go inside and outside, I think that depends on him. If he can pick it up and move work the slider, work the outside fast enough, I think that makes Marshawn more easily available to be traded. If he can't, then I think you hold on to Shine a little bit longer. What I think the Saints are trying to do is basically kind of dial back a little bit of the idea that Marshawn gonna be traded. Because when everybody in the world know you got to get rid of somebody, they lowball you. Well, now that it looks like, oh no, we worked out our differences. Well, now that fourth round pick that Marshawn might have went for might be a second round pick, because now it's like, oh, well, the Saints gonna keep him and he's healthy, and when he is healthy, it's hard to argue he ain't the best cornerback in the NFL. So for him, it looks good that he out there. He at camp. He's showing he healthy. NFL teams are paying attention to it. They're trying to gauge whether or not everything is cool between him and Dennis Allen. And if it looks good, maybe a team is more willing to up a little bit more. Maybe are willing to give up that second round pick. If it look bad, then I mean, hell, it's basically, man, you're gonna pay him all of that money up front, because I think it's 31 million right now, if I ain't mistaken, that they gotta pay him, like if he on the roster on week 1. I don't really see that happening like that.
What do you think those differences they hashed out were? What do you speculate that was?
I think it's a lot of personal. I think it's a lot of personal business. I don't think Marshawn was fully bought into Dennis Allen, the head coach, as he was Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator. I also think, man, that if you pay attention to Dennis Allen, the defensive coach is a fiery dude. The head coach is vanilla, as ice cream, man. So I think it's a little bit different, because it's almost like when one of your friends become your manager. You so used to that being your boy that you ain't used to taking no orders from him. But the minute he become a manager, he got a different title, got a different position, he got different responsibilities. So now it's a matter of, okay, well, I can't be your friend now. Now I got to be your boss. And if you was my friend and now you my boss, I may take advantage of that. I may not listen to you. I may not even respect you like I used to. And I think that's what's happening with Sean. Sean seen Dennis Allen the homeboy and not Dennis Allen the boss. And they clashed on that. At least that would be my take on it.
That's a good analogy right there. That was probably good, just like how I had the oh yeah, if he's the head coach, then if he's the assistant manager of the store, he just got to worry about the electronics, and the manager just got to worry about produce, and all of a sudden, if that just happened, the whole store gonna be fine. That's a good analogy right there. But let's get into this Spence Rattler Jake Haener competition. Spence Rattler, he got on the team. It's fans like me, it's fans like you. We smart and we know that, can this guy be the future? Does he have the potential? Yes. But are we just gonna, bash this guy if he falls flat, or are we just gonna put all our eggs in this basket and just be like praying on him? Like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're just having fun, uplifting them, giving them nicknames, just having fun with it. But certain other fans, they're gonna see certain other fans and just be thinking like, oh man, they just put too much pressure on this kid. Like, I just think it's all fun and games or whatnot, but we know that he's just coming in. It's OTAs. He's going to take risks. This is the perfect time to take risks, see what works, see what don't work, work on certain things. This is the perfect time to do those things and have those mistakes. And Jake Haener, yes, it's a new offense, but he's still more polished after a year being in the NFL, but it's a lot of split with the fan base right now. Well, I ain't gonna say it's a split. I think it's probably like 70-30. 70 towards, hoping that Spence Rattler could just take it and just win this competition. But what do you make of this competition so far?
It's a competition, but really not a competition, because what Jake Haener understands that Spencer Rattler doesn't right now: speed. Like, when recently or whatever like that, I want to say it might have been my homeboy John Hendricks posted a clip of Spencer Rattler talking about how Marshawn Lattimore got him on a pick. Well, in the SEC, that's a completion. You can flip your hips and make that pass, and there's not a cornerback there. Marshawn just so happens to have 4.3 speed and still can play corner. He's probably, like I said, he's probably the best in the game when he's healthy. So in college, that's a completion for Spencer Rattler. In the NFL, it's not. You know who understands that? Jake Haener. You know who understands it now? Spencer Rattler, because it's a big difference. So I think that's the competition advantage. So it is a competition, but it's not. Jake has a 1 year head start on understanding the speed of the game. Now, if Spencer can close that gap, then it becomes a competition. As of right now, Jake is going to be in the lead because he understands that, and that's just something that's going to come with experience. He's going to have to go through OTAs and training camp, because again, in rookie camp, oh my God, Spencer Rattler, 8 of 8. He looks great down the field. Well, first of all, he's playing against air, and secondly, what I'm saying, like, you playing against people that's more your speed. All of a sudden, now you get the veterans in there. Oh, it's OTAs now. It's minicamp now. When training camp comes, we're gonna hear more, horrible stories about him, because at that point, now it's almost live bullets. Then you get to preseason. But by the time the season comes in, and once he gets settled, he understands, okay, well, normally I got 3 seconds to make that throw. Now I don't have that. Now I gotta cut that in half, and that ball got to be gone by the time my back foot hit the ball. Got to be gone. It's got to be going to a certain area, not necessarily where I see him at, where I think he's going to be in 2 seconds from now. That's the difference in the NFL. That small gap. It seems like it's a lot, but 2 seconds. That's all it takes between the idea of it being a completion and the interception. And I think that's what Spencer Rattler's going to learn very quickly. And I think he's going to pick it up. And I think the talent eventually going to outshine. Jake is okay. Spencer is good. There's a difference. Spencer can become great. I don't know if Jake has that next level.
Yeah, man, this is a competition right here. And then you got people coming out the woodwork saying, "Oh, I told you." And then they got the people who was just all from jump, like, "Hey, man, don't put this pressure on this dude." Like, I go back and forth, and I make fun with that with John O'Barnes a lot, But man, we're gonna see, man. This is going to be the most interesting thing about the season to me. It's the quarterback two battle in the preseason. Like, I'm gonna be locked in. Like, when that second quarter come, or maybe like whenever just Derek Carr goes sit down, I'm gonna be locked in on this quarterback two battle, because I think that's the most interesting thing to me. I'm gonna be more locked in than that than probably the real season itself. But we're gonna have to see, man. I really don't care who wins. Like, may the best man win, because at the end of the day, I just want them guys to just sit and just soak up as much game as possible until their number is really called, and we're gonna just see what happens from there. But let's go ahead on and talk about this O-line again, man. I'm not sure, but I think that Nick Underhill has said it was either Fuaga or Nick Saldiveri looks more impressive than Penning. And I was like, God damn, bro. God damn. And I know they're not really just, full on pad pass blocking right now, but just as far as picking up things and the speed of things, in this new system, they said that some guys just been looking more impressive than Penning. Man, what do you make of that?
Look, man, respect to all of the Saints reporters that are out there, because I know when you see me on Twitter, I can be extremely disrespectful with my commentary. Not that I care, because if y'all feel some type of way, catch me in traffic, put your hands up and ask me to say it twice. But if, I really feel like, with all due respect to all of them, shut the hell up. Because what you're doing right now is painting a false picture, and I get it. Sometimes it's all about keeping your credentials. Sometimes all about just kind of keeping your connections, whatever it may be. Shut the hell up. If an offensive lineman is out there, he didn't trip over his own feet, then he had a good day. That's pretty much what it is. If he go right, he go left, he don't trip over his own feet, he look good that day to me. Why? Because he blocking against air. You blocking against a dude that can't go full speed. You blocking against a dude that's not scheming to block against you. What the hell are you really reporting on? Trevor Penning looked good today. What the hell did he do? Breathe? Like, are you serious right now? What could he do that made him look good? Did he stop? Name a good pass rusher in the NFL right now, because I know Aaron Donald gone. But T.J. Watt. Did he stop T.J. Watt? Did he stop Nick Bosa? If he didn't do that, shut the hell up and stop telling people he looked good or he looked bad. How do you know how he looked? He didn't look lost today. What the hell was he gonna look lost for? Did he not know where the cafeteria was from the field? Like, what exactly are you telling people? I get so frustrated, because New Orleans reporters are probably the most cupcake-ass reporters I've ever seen in my life. They don't really ask the tough questions. They tiptoe around the Saints as if there's some kind of mafia around this piece. I'm like, damn, say what it is. We saw Trevor Penning out there at practice today. How did he look? Well, I can't really tell you, because he's blocking against air. That's the end of it. And if somebody like Nick says that, it's the end of it. Well, Nick, well, somebody else reported he looked really, really bad. Well, Nick, what are you going to tell somebody? He got beat on the pass rush? What damn pass rush? What you going to tell me? He blocked 60 yards downfield? Who the hell was he blocking? They ain't got no pass. They ain't got no scheme. They ain't got no defensive coordinator out there. They're blocking against their partners who know I can't go full speed. Tell me again how he's supposed to look. I can't stand this time of year with that nonsense, man. It's crazy, bro. And I get it. And it's not Nick. Nick, my dude. I all due respect to Nick. It's not people like John Hendricks or Ross Jackson or anybody like that. It's every single reporter. I'm excluding nobody. If you don't like what I'm saying, you know how to find me. I'm excluding nobody. Shut the hell up. Don't tell me nothing about the Saints and how they look until training camp. Do you have to do your reporting? Absolutely. Do you have to try to paint this picture that the Saints offensive line is looking good, looking bad, looking indifferent? No, you don't. You can tell it like it is. I couldn't tell what the hell was going on until they put the pads on. The end.
And the main thing they give me is these beautiful balls that Derek Carr threw.
against air. Yeah, Derek Carr threw a 60-yard bomb to nobody. What the hell, man? Like, what are you doing? And then they'll take a clip. Like, if you've ever been to a Saints practice before, I'll line it up for you. They're going to do a couple of warm-up drills. In the warm-up drills, you're going to have 3-4 quarterbacks on one side. The receivers line up. They run a route. They have speed. They throw the ball. Guess what the hell they're going to show on the Saints highlights? Derek Carr drops back, throws the ball. It's going to look good until you realize that he threw the ball to nobody going half speed. I'm like, come on, man, stop playing with me. I've been out there. You can't paint that picture with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah, man, I feel you, but I guess they got to report something. But when it comes to the tough questions, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the guy who do probably ask something that a lot of people want to hear, I think Mike Triplett, he'll ask something. Like I didn't see a few times where Mike Triplett asked Dennis Allen something, but when it comes to just reporting some certain stuff, yeah, you got a point.
I'll say this. And again, it's with all due respect. Mike Triplett, my dude. I think Mike asks tough questions. I think Nick will ask tough questions. And I think Catherine Terrell, she's the GOAT of asking tough questions. She don't care at all. She going to ask it. So, I mean, it's again, it's all due respect to certain ones. But, I mean, still in all, what can you actually ask them right now? And again, I understand. You got some reporting to do. You got to do something to fill content. Oh, that's why I can't wait till next week. Next week is going to be beautiful because next week is going to separate those who can from those who can't. Next week, you know what's going to take place? No more NBA finals. No more training camp. No more football. The only thing you might have going on is baseball. And in Louisiana, we care about college baseball, but we don't really care about pro baseball like that because we ain't got a team. So what's going to happen is you can have a bunch of people right now with podcasts and all kind of shit. All kind of stuff that's going to have to fill in time, and they got nothing to talk about. Can't talk about the Pelicans. Can't talk about the Saints. Can't talk about the NBA. So what exactly are you going to tell me during that time? You know what they're going to start doing articles on? What 5 players do you think going to make the Saints roster? What 5 breakout players do you see? 5 players that may be on the bubble. When they start doing stuff like that, that's the have from the haves not, because they can't create content without giving you these stupid ass pieces about how 10 guys I think on the bubble. Give me something better than that during next week. If you could do that next week, then you for real. If you can't, again, shut the hell up.
And speaking of asking questions, man, since we on live right now, we got a few people in the comments. If y'all got any questions y'all want ask B, feel free to post it. I'll ask them for y'all, and we can just see what happened while we on this live, man. We'll try something different. So feel free to ask any questions that y'all have for B right now, and I'll go ahead on and ask them. But let me go ahead on and talk about something positive. Got some positive news when it comes to Chase Young. I think he had like a procedure done as far as his injury go, and they said all is well. So if we could get him out there on the field and see what he could be made of in this season, I expect him to have at least close to double-digit sacks, if not no less than 7. So how do you feel about this pass rush? Because I feel like the defense is only going to be as good as the pass rush and the run stoppability.
Chase Young is the reason why you don't pay Alvin Kamara. So it's almost like it's a catch-22. If you pay Alvin Kamara, whatever you really give him is taking away money you could potentially give to Chase Young, who, like you said, if he go out there and he ball out and he's healthy, with the idea that he doesn't have to be an every down player, because you got Carl Granderson, you still got Cam Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have guys that can kind of help him, when it comes to pass rush. Isaiah Foskey's supposed to step up this year. So that's 4 dudes right there playing D-line that can, rush the passer. If Chase Young has a good year, how you going to pay him? Because if Chase Young has a good year, you got to try to find the money for him. Adebo need his money. You possibly may have to, sign some, additional free agents. You still don't, you don't necessarily know if you have your safety of the future. You might have to sign a running back or 2. I mean, there's so many other positions that you can pay other than trying to pay Alvin Kamara, who you already know is not going to be with your team long term. Jamal Williams is leaving next year too. So, I mean, what you going to do with your running back room if you pay Kamara now? Because, again, you're not keeping him past this year. At least I can't see a reason why you would. But, maybe I'm wrong on that. Taysom Hill, another one, possibly leaving after next year. So in order for you to replace guys like that, you're going to need the money. That's why you don't pay Alvin Kamara. That being said, I want to see the pass rush happen. I need to see them be able to stop the run. I need to see them be able to get upfield. We can talk a lot about what could be, but you got to prove it to me. At this juncture, I spent too much money traveling to see the Saints play to do anything else but say I ain't doing nothing until September. Wake me up when September comes, when they line up week 1 and they're ready to play ball. That's when I'm gonna start believing in the Saints' ability to rush the passer. And then I can't even say wait till week 1 because they're playing Carolina. But I will say if you can't get to Carolina, you got a long season coming. Because they you should be able to. If the Saints walk out of the Carolina game without at least 4 sacks, it's a problem. Because you should be able to dominate that game just off talent alone. You should be.
Do you think that? Do you think that's like a byproduct of us kicking the can down the road, or you think that, man, regardless, if you got a lot of good players, you're gonna somebody's gonna have to be a cap casualty?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the strategy when you had Drew Brees and you were trying to win one more title before he got out of there, I think it made sense to kick the can down the road. The minute that you start, the minute the Drew Brees era ended, that's when you should have stop the idea of let's kick the can down the road. At that point, it should have been we went all in, we tried to win another one, the ref screwed us out of one, we played ourselves out of another one. So at that point we did what we could. Let's hit the reset button. Instead, the Saints was like, nah, we still close. No, you weren't. You didn't really want Jameis. Andy Dalton should have never been a quarterback. And now you come in with Derek Carr, and you thought you was going to apply the same logic. Well, we'll just push all the chips into the table for Carr. You can't do that because Carr is not Breeze. So now it looks like they're like, whoa, okay, so we realize now Carr is not the guy. Now let's dial back and start walking it back a little bit. In the process of that, you're going to lose a Marcus Williams. You might lose a Marshawn Lattimore. You're going to lose a Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You're going to lose players like that because you thought the idea was Carr can easily replace, like he was the elixir to the Jameis problem. He wasn't, or he hasn't been.
All right. I just mentioned that we're trying to be a little bit more interactive show, especially during lives, trying to get the people in the chat to ask questions for the guests. And right now we got Hurricane Mike. He said he had a question for you, B. He said, what is the ceiling for Derek Carr?
If Derek Carr gives you a Kirk Cousins type of performance with the Minnesota Vikings, that would actually be beneficial. I don't want Carr to go out there and be Breeze. I don't try to compare him to Breeze. I don't ever want him to think he's Drew Brees. I mean, no matter what he does, he'll never be able to fill those shoes. So just go out there and be the best version of you could be. And I believe the best version of Derek Carr is maybe Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, when he's healthy. It's a dude that's going to pass for about 4,000 yards, get you about 20, 25, 30 touchdowns, probably 10 to 12, 13 intercepts, somewhere under 15 intercepts. So maybe a 2-to-1 touchdown ratio. Just don't go lose the game. And I think that's the most you can expect for you in a bad division. Technically, by default, the Saints should win this division. So I don't expect the Carr to go out there, throw for 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and stuff like that. Nah, man, just keep it light. Give him a simple assignment. Damn near give him a game plan that he can't screw up. And if you do that, I think the Saints will have success.
I mean, when it comes to Carr, I ain't gonna lie. But when we got Carr, I thought that he was in the same tier as a Kirk Cousins, Jameis Winston, Matt Stafford, these guys, Dak Prescott. I thought that, but now I really don't think so. I think that Kirk Cousins, especially in the regular season, I think he's just a step above Carr. I think Kirk Cousins, he just got that kill in him. He got that killer mentality. He gonna carve you up, put it like that. And I think Matt Stafford is a step above Kirk Cousins. They like Stafford. He just know how to carve a defense up, and it showed. He carved Dennis Allen defense up. At the end of last season, a lot of people put a lot of stock in that last 4 or 5 games. But I keep saying, what happened versus Sean McVay and Matt Stafford? Yeah. I keep going back to that because we beat up on a Tommy. What's his name?
They beat up on Tommy DeVito. They beat up on Tyler Bagent. They lost to Josh Dobbs. They got, they played Bryce Young. So I'm not, whoever was the quarterback in Carolina. You played what? Was it Riddle?
We played Riddle.
You played him, and the only team you played that was decent was the Rams, and you got smoked. So when I see certain sports people around the around the NO area talking about, well, Carr played well towards the end of the season. How could you not? And I think the reality of it is that when Carr played against bad quarterbacks outside of Baker Mayfield, 9 times out of 10 he was the better quarterback on your field. You should have had the advantage. This year it's not like that. For as easy as people are saying the same schedule is, the quarterbacks that they're playing Not so much. You're gonna play against Dak Prescott. You're playing against Pat Mahomes. You're playing against Jalen Hurts. You're playing against some of the upper echelon QBs. So now you damn near got to get into a shootout. And that when Hurricane Mike asked the question about what's my ceiling for Derek Carr, the one thing I never want to see Derek Carr in is a shootout. Don't give me that. Because the only time I've seen Derek Carr play like a capable quarterback is when he's down by 20. I don't want to see a shootout happen. You'll never be able to keep up with him.
Yeah, and that goes back to those stats that you had named. Like, yeah, could he throw for 4,000 and have this and have that? But yeah, he probably could have it. But in what context did he have it? Did he have it in
Correct.
coming back? Did he have it being down? Like, was it empty calorie yards? Like, because if you look at Derek Carr's season and you didn't watch last year, you're not a Saints fan. You didn't watch last year. You see, oh, he had under 10 picks. He threw for this amount of yards. He had a pretty good year. But if you watch that season, you would know he didn't play. He didn't play pretty good. But we could go back and forth all day about what happened. I can make my comments on why it went this way. A person who can make comments on why it went that way. But at the end of the day, everybody has to come to grips and say we had an easy schedule and it got even easier. And Dennis Allen, he was like ranked amongst one of the top play callers, defensively. Yeah, if you're playing Tommy DeVito and Tyson Bagent and Bryce Young twice, all these guys, like, of course. We got another person asking a question right here. We got Lionel Dorsey said, do you believe the West Coast / Clint Kubiak offense can benefit Derek Carr so it limits risk and turnovers?
Absolutely, man. I hope that's my bro Lonnie, man. I hope that's who that is, man. But yeah, I think he can. I think last year Pete Carmichael offense could have helped Derek Carr if he would have been able to catch it fast enough. I think a lot of times, man, Carr came in with a little bit of a hero complex. And I think some of that, like I'm the savior. The Saints needed me. They wanted me. They came, got me. I'm the dude. And a little bit of that is disingenuous because, you wasn't that. You wasn't the savior. So do I think Clint Kubiak's offense can help? Absolutely. Because what Clint going to do is he's basically going to dummy down the offense for him. Oh, that's my bro line. That's my brother, man. What's good, family? But that being said, man, I think what he going to do is, if y'all remember when Vince Young played for the Tennessee Titans, it's about as stupid of an offense as you can. I mean, they damn near dummy proofed it for him. They gave Vince Young 3 reads. They said, we're going to give you a flat read, so something to check down. We're going to give you something going across the middle, and we're going to give you something deep. If it ain't there, take off and run. I think Derek Carr's offense is going to be very similar to that. It's going to be, we're going to try to ground and pound. We're going to get you something, we're going to work what you do well. We're going to, instead of trying to chuck the ball downfield all the time, we'll give you more intermediate stuff. Because you like to throw to the right a lot, we'll tilt the offense more to the right. So we're gonna widen it up a little bit. We're gonna give you more space to operate, so where we can give you open more, I guess, wider passing lanes. If that happens, ball game. Because I mean, look what it did for Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy would have never convinced nobody he was gonna be the second coming of Tom Brady until Kyle Shanahan looked at him and said, you know what? We're gonna make it simple for him. We're gonna give him the offense that fits his skill set. We're gonna bomb away. That's exactly what happened. If you look at San Francisco, their offense ain't pretty to watch. It's just effective as hell.
Yeah, and apparently they only got like what's his name? What's the left tackle name? Trent Williams. A lot of those other guys like second and third round picks, and they said that they put more emphasis on the playmakers than in the trenches. So this is going to be interesting to see how other teams, go about that.
I think the zone blocking scheme is actually gonna help. Now, don't get me wrong, the Saints been running zone blocking. They just ran it differently. They used to run I believe the Saints used to run the inside zone. Now they run the outside zone. A little bit different, but you get some of those dudes that can move on the outside. So, and I also think the run game is by being more dominant in the offense moving forward. I think it's gonna be better because the best thing you can do for an offensive lineman that's weak is don't make him back up, make him go forward. And the more he going forward, the more confidence he builds. Because if he can knock that dude off the line that first couple of times, all of a sudden now his chest start poking out a little bit. Like, oh, you can't handle me. All right, cool. Now let's get you moving. And I think that's another thing the offense gonna do. When you see the San Francisco offense, them dudes look like they playing on a string. Whenever they take a step, pay attention to it. Go back and watch it. I know people like to say, oh, I watched the film. No, you didn't. You watch highlights. Very few people watch film. But if you do watch it, even if you watch the highlights and you look at their O-line, pay attention to their O-line. Whenever that ball is snapped and they take a step, everybody, 1, 2, 3, boom, right foot. Watch it. It's almost like an instrument being played, bro. It's musical. Everybody foot at the exact same time, plant to the right. Now they got everybody going. The minute that offense shift left, it's too late for the defense. You're done. So if there's a counter play to where it's going right, and that running back cut back left, defense is smoked because everybody moving in sync. The minute that running back cut back the other way, is ball game, and I think that's what we're gonna see a lot of with the Saints. They gonna move more in step. We know Ruiz is not the best offensive lineman, but we do know he's athletic. We know McCoy is probably good as it gets. So all you got to do now is worry about the rest of them guys, and if you can get them in sync, the offensive lineman, if for as much as it could be a problem, at least it'll be serviceable at times.
Yeah. The quarterback's best friend is the defense and the run game. So if that defense doing good and the run game is doing good, and you could build off that play action with Derek Carr is good at, he should have a solid season. But we got another question for you, Mike. We got another question from Mike. Do you think DA is overrated defensively? He thinks yes.
I think at times I think it depends on how you want to I guess draft up the word overrated. I think at times we might overinflate who he is. Like if you listen to people talk about Dennis Allen locally, they talk about him like he's one of the greatest defensive minds to ever do it, like Buddy Ryan type stuff, and and I don't really think he's that good. I also don't think he's bottom of the barrel either. I think he's somewhere. If you had to say name the 10 top dudes defensively, I think Dennis Allen would be in that mid part. He'd be somewhere between 5 and 7. But do I think he's a 9? No. Do I think he's a 3? No. I think he falls somewhere in the middle. So I wouldn't necessarily say overrate. I think he gets about what he should get. He's a really good defensive mind that has come up with some of the best defensive game plans we've ever seen. I mean, for lack of a better way of saying it, he saved Sean Payton ass. Because there was a time when Sean Payton was looking real suspect out here because he couldn't find a defensive coordinator. And Dennis Allen came in and changed a lot of that. So for me, yeah, I think at times he can be overinflated, but I won't necessarily say overrated.
Yeah, I think a lot of that came because we had started getting some real good talent. I think the talent was just trash before Dennis Allen. We started getting that good talent after that 2017 draft. And, Dennis Allen, he made it do what it do, especially against stationary quarterbacks. But when it comes to the mobile quarterback, and ever since Malcolm Brown had left, he been hard to stop the run. But we're going to see.
I hope Willie Gay can help with that because the last time the Saints were able to stop mobile, well, let me not say stop, I'll say slow down mobile quarterbacks was when DeMario and Quan Alexander played together because you had two linebackers that could run like that. Now Pete Werner should have been that, but Pete stayed hurt a lot, and sometimes man Pete looked like he should be more of a strong safety than a linebacker at times. So maybe they're playing him a little bit more, out of position than what he should be. Maybe he's better in the middle than he would be on the outside. But I hope Willie Gay can kind of help slow down some of the mobile quarterbacks. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with Malcolm Brown too. And I feel like teams were getting what you call it when you can't do one thing, you just gotta stick to the other thing now. Like they had to start passing more because at the time we had Sean Payton and Drew Brees. So, they had to go away from the run. So I think that kind of had something to do with it too. But we got Lionel Darcy asking another question. Do you think Jamal was a waste of time, and would you consider Dalvin?
Um, I think I won't say waste of time. I think it was a smart move to bring him in. I mean, the year before he led the NFL in touchdowns. Now a lot of that could be those 1 yard carries on the goal line too. But I think Jamal had talent, and he's also. If you remember when the Saints had, the Super Bowl year, when they had Pierre, they had Reggie, and they had Mike Bell come in. That's kind of what the Saints were trying to duplicate, right? They were trying to make, Alvin the all-purpose Reggie type of dude or whatever like that. They were trying to make, Kendre more of the Pierre type, or or maybe Reggie, maybe Alvin was more Pierre, Kendre was supposed to be more Reggie, and Jamal was going to be more like Mike Bell, but they couldn't duplicate it. And a reason for that was because Pete Carmichael didn't want a job that he took, and he really wasn't good at it. And another part of that was the idea of like the Saints weren't really great offensively, so there was never no threat for Jamal to run the ball. The offensive line was trash. The offense suffered at times even getting the ball downfield. They struggled in the red zone. So for me, I'll put it this way: if you look at Jamal and you look at Jimmy Graham, both of those dudes should have had a hell of a lot better season than they had. And both of them look like, oh man, they can't even play no more. But then when you look at Derek Carr numbers and you realize in the red zone that boy was like 19% in the red zone, then you're like, oh man, okay, now I see why everybody else struggled. Because when they got time, to cash in, they couldn't cash in. It would look a lot different if Jamal would have had 30 yards rushing but 6 touchdowns.
All right. Yeah, man. I remember I was in your spaces one time when you was running spaces back then on Twitter, and somebody was like, man, I don't never see the Saints on red zone because they got that little red zone.
Yeah,
And somebody was like, "Yeah, man, I don't never see the Saints on red zone because they wouldn't score it."
nah, man. That's why I said, man, like the Saints can't get my money right now, bro. The only way I go to a Saints game next year is if I get a ticket. Now, when I say get a ticket, I mean somebody say, Brian, going to the game. You want to go? Because I ain't paying for it. I done been to London. I done been all over the country traveling to go see the Saints play, all over the world to see them play. If you want to count the London trip, man. But I'm not doing it now, bro. You got to prove something to me. You got to buy my loyalty back.
You got to show me. Like it got to be like during week 7 or 8, and we got to be at least 4 games above 500. Like we 4 games above 500, yeah, y'all will get my time and my money because I don't think I'm less of a Saints fan for not purchasing a ticket and going watch the game. I'm gonna still watch the game. I'm just gonna watch it and not purchase a ticket. But I don't think I'm less of a fan for that. So that just
facts. So, something you asked me one time I was on the show, and you asked me what's my hottest of hot takes, and somebody asked me that question again, and I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna repeat it. It's the idea of I told you, I said I think the Saints will have a better team even if they don't have a better record. That would be my hot take, and I stand on that. I definitely think they'll probably look better out there, even if the record isn't 9-8.
Yeah, I mean, like the 9-8. A lot of people feel like we were 9-8. If Clint Kubiak come, which is way better than what Pete Carmichael was, and Derek Carr gonna be healthy, hopefully, that guarantees us 2-3 more wins. Like with that mentality, that's crazy because you got to think about how did you become 9-8? If
Correct.
These quarterbacks played us, and they wasn't injured, do you think we'd be 9-8? I don't think so. I think we probably will be 7-10. So let's just assume we would have been 7-10 if those quarterbacks did play us. Then Clint Kubiak could probably get us 2 more games, and if we get us 2 more games, then we'll be 9-8 again this season. That's how I look at that.
Yeah. And I'm exactly there with you, bro. I think so many times people look at, and another thing is that people really look at that last stretch of the season, like when they play so well down the stretch of the season. Well, I mean, it's easy to be a C student in a room full of F students. It's not that hard to do. And I think that's the Saints. If you look at the fact that they should have won the Green Bay game, yeah, but they also could have lost that very first game against the Titans too. So it's like people are picking and choosing which one they want.
You know what's funny about that Green Bay game? People forget that them dudes had a lot of injuries. Everybody to be beating these dudes. They had the old linemen out. They had the cornerback out. They had
the running backs out.
They had like about 4 key people that was not.
Jair Alexander didn't play in that game either. That's their top corner.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron Jones played. Like it was a lot of guys. And then, mind you, this was early in the season before Jordan Love really took off and started figuring things out. So it was early. Yeah. So, a lot of people keep bringing up the Green Bay game, but you fail to realize Dennis Allen trotted out Derek Carr the very next week versus the Bucks when he didn't practice all week, and then throwing all these passes behind the line of scrimmage to Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, and the sad part of that is he did all of that to avoid a QB controversy because he didn't want the same thing to happen with Jameis that happened with him the year before when Andy Dalton took over. Can you imagine if Jameis takes over and actually beats the Bucks and actually looks impressive doing it? How that would have sent the whole thing into a frenzy? I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect the move now because hindsight is 2020. At the time, you sacrificed games for that because the Bucks smashed the Saints that next game.
Yeah, man, he should have learned his lesson from last year because he did the same thing. Tried to Jameis Winston out there when Andy Dalton was fully capable of being the healthiest backup that could have came in and just played against the Bucks and the Panthers. Like, what do you have a backup for? Especially if he's one that's fully capable, like Andy Dalton was backing up Jameis Winston and a Jameis Winston backing up a Derek Carr. We felt like we was pretty good going into the season because the drop off wasn't that big.
Yeah, man. You would think, bro, but I mean, again, if you're gonna pay Derek Carr $150 million, then I guess to protect him is your best asset in whatever way you have to, whether that be offensive line or from the media. Protect him at all costs, I guess.
We got about be up in the building for about 10 more minutes, y'all. So if y'all got any question that's in the comment section right now, we're gonna kind of rapid fire and let them get ready to be up out of here soon to fight tonight. So any questions y'all got for B, y'all go ahead on and post them. We got another question from Lionel right now. The Taysom restructure just cleared up more cap. Who would you target before the season starts, if anybody?
I mean, I haven't seen much coming from the OTA reports about safety play. Now I know they got Ugo Amadi. Is it Ugo Amadi, man? No, Abram. They got Abram and they got Howden playing safety. I would love to see them still bringing a veteran like Justin Simmons. I'd love to see it happen. Probably not gonna happen unless it's gonna happen, during training camp. It's probably not gonna happen. I still wouldn't mind them bringing in another wide receiver, just to compete. I know they brought in Russell Gage for a tryout and stuff like that. Maybe you're bringing a dude like that to kind of compete a little bit. Because for me, I think A.T. Perry has talent, but I need to see if over time. I think Cedric Wilson has talent, but there's a reason why you keep getting shipped around. So for me, I wouldn't mind them seeing them bringing another wide receiver or a safety.
Okay. Hurricane Mike asks, "Was Dennis Allen worse sin as a Saints head coach?"
That apology to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't give a damn if Jameis would have ran 4 quarterback sneaks and ran up the score at the end of the game. You never apologize to your division rival. If there's anything that's unforgivable, it's that one. Especially because of how he did it. You got Arthur Smith, who about to get fired, barking on you. And you mile down at me. I'm so sorry, Arthur. It wasn't meant to be. I understand why you're mad. Boy, if you don't get your punk ass off the field, Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach, was the only person that stuck his chest out like, who are you talking to? You can't be talking to us. I had more respect for Darren Rizzi. And as a special teams coach, I shouldn't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Versus my head coach who decided he was going to apologize to the division rival. Nah.
Got Jerry, the birthday boy, in the building. What up, Jerry? Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, fam.
You made 40 years old. Time to get them brown sandals and pull that grill out, Jerry. But yeah, Jerry, we doing rapid fire question there with B right now. I know you come into the chat late probably. So if you got any questions for B before I let him go, get ready to watch this fight tonight. Go ahead on and put any questions down in the comment section below, and I'll get ready to put it up and I'll ask you a question, Jerry. Yeah, man, bro, it's so much to talk about with this same season. But man, I ain't gonna lie, I would be so much excited for this season if Clint Kubiak was the head coach right now, and we just see who be that number one quarterback going into this battle between Jake Hanna and Spence Rattler, man. Like, I would be so much excited going into the season if I had that. But we're gonna see, man, what happened, because I think if Dennis Allen get extended, which this is what I think is gonna happen. I think we're gonna go anywhere between 7 to 9 wins, and Dennis Allen gonna get extended. That's what I think gonna happen. What to be the best thing that can happen, I get proved wrong, I eat crow, and Dennis Allen and Derek Carr win the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Even with the NFL, they love us. They give us favorable calls. So that could for sure happen. That could be the best. That could be the best thing that's going to happen. And I just got to eat my words and cry. And everybody just come in my mentions and be like pulling up all my old receipts and all the screenshots. That could be the best thing that can happen. And the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is what I think is going to happen. We go 7, 8, 9 wins, and Dennis Allen get extended, and we just be in neutral and mediocrity. And another thing that can happen that I don't think is going to be bad is if the Saints win less than 6 wins and Dennis Allen get fired. I definitely don't think that'll be a bad thing.
I think that's the only way Dennis Allen get fired. I think he has to go under 6 wins, and even with the 6 wins, it's got to be something that's like train wreck style. Like, okay, I for as much as I don't like Derek Carr, I don't wish injury on the dude. Not nothing severe like that. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing career threatening and stuff like that. So if that's the situation, let's say Carr got to miss half the season. If that happens and the Saints only win 6 games, I still think Dennis Allen, gets another chance, because he's like, man, my starter was going the whole year. I have to play a rookie, or I have to play a second-year quarterback. It wasn't really beneficial for me to win games. You know what I'm saying, like that. If that happens, I think he gets a pass. I think if Derek Carr is there all 17 games and he wins 6, he gone. I think he gone. 7 is the threshold. You got to win 7, and there's got to be like no mutiny type stuff. I think 3 and 14 gets you gone. I think 14 and 3, miracle. But anything in between that, I think, like I said, anything over 6 wins. If he hits 7, he's safe. And we'll be, next year will be year 4. We're talking about the same, front office or organization group that Slick Side gave Willie Green a contract extension and they tell nobody it happened. For all we know, Dennis Allen can have an extension right now and we don't even know it.
Lionel Dorsey said he just followed me on Twitter. Salute, man. Thanks for that, my dog. Shoot,
Line of good people, bro. Line of good people, man.
that name looked familiar. I probably seen him on Twitter once.
Lonnie, the one with the Pac avid, bro, and he be saying his name is King of Kings on there. Lonnie, good folk, man. That's my fam right there.
He's saying, "Tell B the greatest rapper of all time birthday tomorrow. He better celebrate."
Not happening, man. I don't know if Wayne birthday tomorrow or not. Nah, I'm messing with. That's my dog, man. He know who it is. He a real Pac fan, man.
All right, what's a Saints player that you think is gonna have a breakout season and nobody really talking about?
Man, that's a great question, bro. Because I mean, if they do have a great one, it's a good thing. You know what, man? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go outside the box, bro. I'm gonna say, man, if Foskey is having a good season, Foskey and Granderson, if they having a great season, I think it changes everything. Because Cam getting old, man. Cam is about to transition to that Tano Passanio type of role. So if one of those dudes can step up and have a great season, oh, it's ball game. That means you like fix a lot of ailments if Foskey can step up and have one. If that dude is having a good season, oh, it's on. That
Last year,
changes the dynamic of everything.
yeah, last year I had three guys pinned in. I said if these three guys could pan out, not naming the quarterback. Of course, if the quarterback pan out, you're going to be good. But last year, my three guys were Penning, Peyton Turner, and if Michael Thomas could stay healthy. That was my three guys. Like, what's three guys that you think, besides the quarterback, of course, that if these three guys can pan out, the Saints definitely do for 10 plus wins.
I think Foskey, I think Nick Saldiveri, and I think Howden. If Howden can be who they said he was, because, bro, I promise you, all I heard from anybody that was whispering to me is if you can hear that Howden is balling, they think he was gonna be the next Marcus Williams, minus the Minnesota Miracle. That's all I kept hearing. He like Marcus. He like Marcus. He can catch it. He can catch it. He know the defense. If that boy can ball out, oh, it's over with. But right now he in a competition, and I mean a real competition, because people forget Jonathan Abraham was a first round draft pick, bro, at safety. I want to say he was either first round or a high second round pick at safety. He ain't no bum back there. He just kind of had a bum rap a little bit, man. But if he can ball out, that's good too. But if Howden is out there balling as a fifth round pick, oh yeah, you good to go. Those three, I would put it on, because Saldiveri got it. They want him to win that guard job. He out there with the ones for a reason. So if he can show up that left side, that's even better, because what you got right now is you got Saldiveri, who's essentially a rookie on the left side playing left guard. You got Fuaga, who made a change from right tackle to left tackle. So the left side of your O line is basically a pop tart. Hard on the exterior, sweet in the middle. You got to figure it out. So you know what I'm saying, you got to figure. If he can play ball, if Saldiveri can play ball, you in better shape.
I think right now, I'm gonna have to go with Foskey, Penning, and maybe A.T. Perry. If these three guys could just have a breakout season, I think that'll be good. I think whatever we've seen from Chris Olave, that's pretty much what we're gonna get. I think he put on like 7 pounds. They're talking about him, trying to get better at yak or whatnot. But I think that pretty much what we've seen with Chris Olave, I think we're pretty much going to get that. He's going to be over 1,000-yard receiver. He's going to be a good route runner. Like, I really think Chris Olave is just another Brandon Cooks. And I'm not saying that he's not, and to me, that's not a knock on him, because Brandon Cooks had a damn good career. Man was over 1,000 yards damn near every season he had, just like Mike Evans, but he don't really get the same kind of credit. But I think that he's going to be a damn good receiver. Now, the only thing about Chris Olave, he gonna put up some better numbers probably, because he had bad quarterback play these first 2 seasons that he came in the game. So if he could get some pretty above average quarterback play with a healthy Derek Carr and a good offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, I think he's due for at least a good 2-3 more hundred yards in yardage as far as stats go. But I pretty much think what we see from Chris Olave is pretty much we're going to get. I don't think he's going to hit that upper echelon and be in that top 5 elite, but he could prove me wrong. But let's go ahead on and pivot before I let you go to the Pelicans, man. A lot to talk about, man. These guys just getting their whole coaching staff post right now. A lot of guys are departing right now. We still don't know what's going to be the status of Brandon Ingram with that contract. What do you make of the Pelicans going into this offseason? Like, if you were David Griffin, how would you approach this offseason?
Chips all in. That's how I'm approaching it. I'm gonna take away every excuse possible for Willie Green not to win. One, because if he don't win and I gave him a contract extension, it's gonna look bad on me. And two is the idea of no more excuses. This can't be the play-in Pelicans no more. You got to go all in. So I'm gonna push my chips to the middle of the table. If I'm trading Brandon Ingram, it was nice having you. We appreciate your service, but I need star power now. And when I say star power, go get me a Trae Young. I don't think they're gonna be able to get Spider Mitchell because I don't think Spider gonna leave Cleveland. They can give him the most money. I think he's gonna stay there. The expectations is low. They building a little chemistry over there with him and Jared Allen and Mobley, and maybe they keep Garland or maybe they trade Garland and bring in another piece to kind of build around it. But I think that what they got in Cleveland, that's sustainable. You can build on that. So I don't think Spider leaving. So I think if that's the case, push your chips in the table. Go get Trae Young, man. Go get a star player that can, hit from the outside, and that's clutch. Because the one thing the Pelicans don't have right now is shot clock at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's 4 seconds left on the clock. You got one player to take a shot. Who you giving the ball to? You can't give it to Zion. He ain't no shooter. Bi is iffy. CJ McCollum, it seemed like disappeared in the biggest moments. So if that's the case, who you don't have a clutch player? Go get a Trae Young. Because even if he missed, I would take my chances with Trae Young with 4 seconds on the clock versus anybody else I just named on a Pelicans roster. Go get a Trae Young. Go get him. That's going to boost ticket sales. It's going to boost confidence. It's going to send a message to the rest of the NBA that no, we ain't playing around. We really serious when we said wholesale changes and some big things was going to be different. And if need be, you either put CJ McCollum on the bench and make him a 6-man, or you trade him too.
All right, shoot. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, B. But before I let you go, I just want to tell you about this bet. I got a bet with another Saints YouTuber called Hoodie Jude. This is probably one of the most optimistic Saints fans I ever met. Like, this dude, he's gonna, whatever you say, he's gonna just move the goalposts and to fit his narrative, and he just, all about the Saints team. He just got them black and gold goggles on. And our bet is the whoever lose got to buy the winner a meal, and the winner just gonna eat their meal on stream. But our bet is actually the Saints winning 12 wins or not. I think they're not.
What?
He think they're going to win 12 games or more. I was trying to
ask that boy, can I get in on this action, man?
This him right here. He said, I would trade for Trae and try to get his teammate too. Murray, that dude is a dog, locked down and can score. Hey, you got another challenger up for that bet, Hoodie Juve. He said he trying to get on this bet too. 12 wins. What's up, man?
Man, look.
Win 12 wins.
If I ever lost that bet, that'd be the happiest bet I could ever say I lost, man. Because if the Saints get 12 wins, that would shock the hell out of me.
Hey, man, I already told him. I said, man, this salmon gonna be very good. I'm gonna eat on stream when I win. But if I do lose, he gonna be well deserving of that. So
yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead on and let you get up out of here, B. I know this fight about to get ready to start. Everybody about to start getting their fight parties ready. Everybody about to get their drinks ready. Sure. You got anything you want to say before you get up out of here, bro?
Man, just Father's Day coming up, man. Happy Father's Day out there to everybody that got man, and that's there, man. Salute to everybody out there. And if you saw this stream and you try to construe my words and try to hit Nick up, Brian was talking shit about you, man. I could call Nick on my phone and tell him that shit ain't true. So relax on that.
That should have been right then and there. Let me see. We got Hoodie Juve said, I will take it. I'm confident in our team this year.
That's what's up. That's a bet right there, brother. If they get 12, man, don't worry. I'll come find you. I promise. My word is good.
Well, I don't know if you follow him on Twitter, but his Twitter name is Hoodie Juve, and our bet is $50 for buying lunch. So if y'all,
I'm with that. I'm all in, man. If he win that bet, bro, he gonna eat good because he gonna be eating on both of us.
He said, as long as we stay healthy, Clint Kubiak does his thing, we will be fine. All right, well, we're gonna see him. I'm gonna let y'all chop that up. I'm gonna let y'all chop that up amongst yourself on Twitter. But man, in the words of the Saints legend, man, Dennis Allen, man, keep doing what you're doing, B.
That's what's up, bro. I'm gonna keep on chopping wood, fam. You do the same on your end, you heard me?
Axe is all year, man. All right, fam.
That's what's happening. Salute, family.